For president, you vote for one candidate, but instead your state decides to give your vote to another. Oh yeah, I'm talking to you. California, New York, Virginia, Maryland, maybe eventually even Pennsylvania. This is the change that is on the way if a few more states will continue this momentum. It's called the National Popular Vote Interstate Compact. Been around for a few years and it's gaining momentum. Just this past week, Abigail Spanberger, the newly elected governor of Virginia, says, yeah, we'll go for this as well. What it means is no matter what your state actually does, if it votes for one candidate, and all those electoral votes would normally go to that candidate to eventually get to 270 and win the presidential election because, we have the Electoral College here in America. Instead, it says, no, we're going to just go with whatever the popular vote is and then give all of our electoral votes, whether we voted for that candidate or not, to that candidate who got the most popular votes. So what did that mean if we would have had this in 2024? It means Virginia, that voted for Kamala Harris, would actually send all of their votes to Donald Trump. Same thing with California. Same thing with New York. It goes on and on and on. Now, you may say the Electoral College is old-fashioned. We don't need it anymore. Let's go into that a little bit, too, because you would run elections completely differently. Why would you go to a state like Virginia? Because its population isn't great, maybe in Northern Virginia, but the rest doesn't matter. And if you know all of their votes are going to the popular vote winner anyway, why would you even waste your time there? Go to the big cities. Go to Chicago. Go to New York. Go to LA and some of those places. So all of the other states might not matter as much because it doesn't matter. All of their votes are going to the popular vote winner anyway. So look at all of these states that have already committed to this. You add in Virginia and we're getting to 222 potential electoral college votes. But here's the problem. It will not start. They won't actually do this until they get to 270. There's your magic number. That's how many it takes to actually win the election traditionally with the Electoral College. But they would be able to force the hand and say it doesn't matter what the Electoral College votes are because we are all, as a conglomerate, as a consortium, going to get together and then give all of our electoral votes to the popular vote winner, thus actually crowning the champion on the popular vote because technically the electoral votes are going in that direction. Here's why this could be a good thing. In a state, let's say like Maryland, it is deeply blue. I grew up in Maryland. I knew before I even went to vote who already won the presidential election vote for that state. It didn't matter if I was Republican or a Democrat or independent, which I was independent. It didn't matter because it was done before it started. But this would change because now every vote would actually matter and move forward. So even if you were in a state that technically wouldn't matter as much because it's so deeply red or deeply blue, now every vote does count. Here's why it might not be so great, especially for states like Pennsylvania that are very important now. Those swing states, those 7 swing states that really are the election every year, won't be as important anymore. You won't see the candidates come into those states because now they just will get more bang for their buck going for the big cities because every vote counts now. So what would be the result if this was alive in 2024? Let's go back to some retroactive history a little bit here, huh? And so what they're going to do now is say, okay, here's what the votes would have been. All of those votes would have gone to Donald Trump because he won the popular vote this past time. So instead of winning with the amount he did win with, instead now it would be 534 to 4. The most lopsided electoral college victory ever. To sum it all up, if you like the popular vote and thinking that it's antiquated that we elect people through this electoral college, you may say, about time. And I'm glad that these states who do have the right to do this because they're the ones that actually run elections can get away with this and make this seed change. So, Virginia voters, California, Maryland, New York, you thought you were voting for this person, but now you're voting for this person? It doesn't matter who you thought you were voting for. Now it's just up to the popular vote.